Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As I was about to title today's video, we're here to showcase the #1 meta pro-am build when it comes to the lockdown, aka small forward position in 2K23. So what I'm also going to be doing with this series when I showcase, for instance, the shooting guard, the power forward, the center positions, I'm going to be also showcasing my team's position. So for this, it's actually my build and what I use, and I'll showcase to you guys the badge loadouts you're going to use for both different types of builds, how you can contribute, and really plan to play with the type of build as well. And also, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. Let's try this one to 2,000 likes. Now, to get straight into this is the build that pretty much everybody uses when it comes to being a pure lockdown. 6'7", it's just the way to go, and you generally are going to be able to up the weight until you lose speed. This is exactly what we have right here. It keeps the 87 speed, 198 on the weight. So this right here, in my opinion, the build is very standard. It's about as much as people know as far as the lockdowns go, as far as the upgrade. As you're going to see though, this is how people generally build them when it comes to comp pro-am. They're not going to have very much ball handler speed with ball on them at all. The acceleration can still be good though for the sake of the catch and runs. Not to mention it's just going to be going up by default off your perimeter defense rating being high. So essentially what you want to do with this build, you want to be able to cut off the corner, maybe catch lobs. It's a little bit debatable, so to say. It's definitely like something that you could contribute a little bit, but you also want to have a little bit of standing dunk. You want to be able to dominate smaller guards because they're going to be the ones guarding you. As a 6'7" or 6'6" pure lock, you are going to be the smaller of your teammates when it comes to the liabilities or the corner spot ups, so to say. So when you're spotting up in the corner, generally your power forward is probably who's also going to be there. So typically that's not where the point guard is going to be defending. It's going to be on your small forward, aka the lockdown here. So we want to make sure that you can still dominate small guards. With this, we have decent close shot, decent driving layup, pretty good and respectable driving dunk. You get the pro contact. You also get, as you can see, gold limitless takeoff. About as simple as that. We'll talk about the core badge situation a little bit later when we get into the badges that you will equip with this, but nonetheless, the standing dunk is actually very reliable, and it's a pretty good amount in my opinion as well. You also get the bronze rise up, as you can see. If you would like to go to 80 standing dunk for the silver rise up, it's decent. It's just obviously you can't get big man standing contact dunks at 6'7". So whatever floats your boat, my whole point is you're going to have to dominate smaller guards on cuts. Whether you want that to be through just dunking and you don't really care about the layup or the close shot, you can go ahead and take those down. Just keep in mind you need to keep 17 finishing badges to get that gold limitless takeoff right here. Now, also in my opinion, I think 82 three-pointer is plenty fine. We've gone over a lot of this stuff in recent videos talking about lockdowns, so just keep in mind, at 83 three-pointer, you get the Silver Agent 3, but at 82, it's plenty reasonable as far as something you could do for a spot up. As you can see, it's where you get the gold green machine right here. Deadeye, not exactly something everybody runs for that matter, but it's at least an option for you. I would say if you want to run a tier 3 and core one of them, it would probably be silver blinders. You're not going to be running limitless range. You probably don't need Deadeye. It's a little bit tough to say. You really could run both of them technically though, because as you can see, core one and run the other, then you're able to get catch and shoot in a tier 2. Problem becomes you need to definitely have Claymore on the max level, which would be gold right here, and then also green machine will be nice to have, but I'm gonna agree with you, it probably depends on how many shots you get up in a game. If they're all gonna be mostly wide open too, then that's plenty fine. If your point guard throws a lot of grenades to the corners though, and what I mean by grenades is like last second shot clocks. They throw the ball to you in the corner with like 1 or 2 seconds left on the shot clock. If you ever have to put up shots like that, just keep in mind, green machine is almost pointless for you because you're going to have to green 2 shots in a row and then you'll actually be seeing the progress on it. I understand you make one, then you see it on the second one. I do get that's how green machine works and it activates like that. But the boost is going to be a little bit insignificant when it comes to the first shot that it's activated. So really, to see significant boost off this, you have to green 3 shots in a row. If that is hitched at all and you green 2 shots then miss the next one, you're going to have to green 2 again until you see that third shot boost. So my whole point here is if you're a spot up, debatably you could just not run green machine. So that in general is why I'm okay with the maybe lesser shooting badge count at just 16. I think it's plenty fine to go with that. I honestly would advise that if you hit the level 40 reward for season 3 that you probably just go with the double defense. That's what every pure lock is probably gonna be doing. Even if you don't do that though, it's plenty fine. I know maybe some people will be new to the game. You're seeing this video as you just maybe got the game for Christmas. I know it's actually a little bit more rare probably this year than ever, but nonetheless, I just wanted to say, I think if you get that double defense core badge, it could be really nice because with this, you have a lot of tier 3s. As you can see, you get Challenger, Clamps, Interceptor, and Glove at Hall of Fame, and you need these in the tier 3. This is going to cost you a lot of defensive badge points right here. Which actually, as you can see, if you combine all of them alone, it costs 32 defensive badge points to even have this. Not to mention you have to spend 10 between the tier 1s and tier 2s before you can even do that. So keep in mind, you can definitely core one of them, which makes it at least free to have one of them. And then after that, you need to have 34 defensive badges to be able to run the rest of the 3. after putting in the 10 points between tier 1 and tier 2. So I would advise definitely put your 4 extra badge points on the defense. It will allow you to run all 4 of these, even if you don't double defense core badge. If you do double defense core badge though, you can see how important and how nice that would be to be able to core, glove, and interceptor and get 16 defensive badge points for free. And then at that point, you'll be able to run literally everything between anchor, chase down, pick dodger included as well, probably some workhorse even for that matter too, because you're going to be more of an on-ball defender, getting pluck steals, debatably menace, but then you're still even pushing the limits of the badge counts. So I would just advise put the 4 extra defense on regardless, and then maybe double defense core badge if you can. Mind you, that takes away your shooting core badge, so that means you wouldn't be able to run, like, say for instance Deadeye or whatever the case may be between extra shooting badge points or anything like that. But again, I think you could low-key get away with not running Green Machine. That's my personal belief. I think if you just run catch and shoot, Claymore, and then run literally blinders, I think that's actually fine for your badge loadout. Anyway, I think this all looks really good. I will say I'm a little bit more of a fan of the versatility, which we will talk about in this video as well. We'll showcase the defensive stats of the build that I actually run, because we don't really run the meta when it comes to defensive builds. We don't have the meta power forward, shooting guard, lockdown, or center. Really all that we run meta, quote unquote, on our team is our point guard. And even for that matter, if we're not playing with AK, we're probably playing way outside the meta with like a 99 steal build at point guard. So I don't know, we'll see. But nonetheless, I'm gonna showcase my versatility when it comes to the build as well, and I'm much more of a fan of that. But for the meta of the game, that silver anchor is really nice. The 99 steel goes a long way too, and the 97 prim to be able to fight through screens. Hall of Fame clamps everybody, get the Hall of Fame challenger. Obviously you have the Hall of Fame pick dodger as well. You got the really good speed as well, and then the vertical we want to keep at a decent level. You want to still be able to go for some chase down blocks, obviously, so 80 is very, very suitable when it comes to that. 80 is not there for any real reason. If you wanted to maybe budget this all the way down, you can go 75 just for the pro contact dunks, but aside from that, that's the build right there. So we'll go ahead and look at the badge count. I do want to let you guys know I think this is the best way to run your takeovers. We talked about this multiple times already, but I don't believe double perimeter badge drop even works. So I do suggest to run extreme clamps in the secondary. Alright, so real quick, we have a badge loadout display right here. I think it's about as simple as this for finishing. So you're going to want that gold limitless takeoff, or silver if you happen to have a build that only gets that with the 80 driving dunk. That's plenty fine as well. But also, as you can see, fast twitch, fearless finisher. Low key, you could do masher if you really, really want that instead. But as you can see, you'd have to take away from, for instance, just 2 bronze tier 1s. And at that point, it doesn't even give you enough points to run it on bronze. So maybe if you choose to run masher instead of fearless finisher, that's fine. But honestly, considering you're 6'7" or 6'6", very likely, I don't think masher is that usable in my personal opinion. I think fearless finisher is just better in general for making contested layups than masher would be regardless. Then as you can see, we have the bronze rise up, helping that standing dunk likelihood, and then also we have giant slayer on bronze. Really, there's nothing else to run in my opinion when it comes to this stuff. Maybe you want acrobat on bronze, maybe you want, say, back down punisher. That'd be really weird though. I think it's not really too usable for you to post up small guards in pro-am, but nonetheless, as you can see, the fast twitch for the finisher and then the limitless takeoff. Now if you do get the chance to run a finishing core badge, I would say slithery or post riser is way more likely than to be able to get limitless takeoff. For limitless, it's extremely hard to core, so don't expect to be able to do so. I'm just gonna more so say you probably want post riser or slithery. I think slithery is much better than poster just in general, so if you are able to core this, go for it. Post riser is much easier to core though, as you'll be able to just literally spam contact dunk meters and just put people into contact dunks. You can do that in my career, you can do that in the park, whatever the case may be. Post riser is a little bit easier to core than slithery, but nonetheless, for the shooting, you can see we're displaying this with no shooting core, simple as that. If you do go with the shooting core, you could probably just get the boom blinders right there, and then you could get green machine, about as simple as that. Then upgrade, for instance, maybe clutch shooter or amped right here. So without doing that, as you can see, we're able to just run blinders. Not to mention, most people do say corner specialist is still broken, and I'm a big believer in that too. My people that I run the team with as well don't run corner specialist even still to this day. From the initial test that 2K Labs did on this, it showed no indication of this even boosting anything at all, and I don't think we've seen an update. I don't think the community has really shown any really urgency to that either. So I will just say this: if you're a big believer in corner specialist and you really don't care about the fact that maybe blinders doesn't really play that big a factor in corner shooting, I'll just keep it about as simple as that. I mean, yes, people will rotate maybe to you off the wing, for instance, and then the wing contest when you're shooting off the corner maybe is where blinders would activate a little bit more. But let's say maybe you wanted to just drop that off. If you really want to be a believer in corner specialist or green machine over blinders and still don't even run that shooting badge core, you could do something like this as well. But nonetheless, I'm just going to be looking at something along the lines of this right here, where we have the bronze amp and bronze clutch shooter. Again, we already showed that loadout. If you do want to run the shooting badge core, you can just add something between these two. Anyway, playmaking, very quick. As you can see, we have the bronze bailout cord. This is going to be the most badge points that we can get. I guess debatably you could also do gold break starter to be the same amount of points. But anyway, then we have the gold break starter, the silver needle threader, and then the silver floor general as well. Nothing between these other badges that really contributes that much as far as your playstyle. It's about all you need for the playmaking regardless. So 7 is definitely fine enough. For the defense though, as you're going to see, I want to just kind of intro this for you guys as far as if you do run the double defense core badge, or if you have those 4 extra badge points to put on, which everybody who plays the game does have that at the very least. If you put the extra 4 badges on, at that point then you can afford to run Interceptor right here, and as you can see, that would leave you with all 4 tier 3s between Challenger, Clamps, Glove, and Interceptor, and then boom, that leaves you with like Gold Chase Down Artist, Silver Anchor. You only have Bronze Pick Dodger, mind you, so if you do go with straight like extra defensive badges, depends on how many extras you get. But like I said, if you do have the double core, that does mean you get Interceptor for free, so we can just pretty much pretend and act like that's even on here, and then at that point we have all the badges left to work with. So you could, for instance, have Hall of Fame Pick Dodger. You could end up running maybe extra defensive badges even on top of that with another +3 to run Hall of Fame Workhorse. If you want Menace, you'd probably have to cut off a little bit on one of those, or maybe you just don't believe in chase down blocks at all. Maybe you just have Anchor on for the contest, and maybe you just want to be in good position, and that's the only time you really care for the blocks. Maybe you plan to really not chase guards when they rim run anyway, and you're planning to like more so switch out on the pops for the pick and pops, and then the big man will take the guard when he drives. Then at that point, you can maybe just like literally drop that off, and then boom, 1 extra badge point is enough for the Hall of Fame Menace, plus the extra 3, which would be +4 total, gives you the Hall of Fame Workhorse. So I know we're being a little bit theoretical right here. It's not really making a whole lot of sense to you guys, maybe. But I do believe that's a pretty good display of what the meta pure locks are doing in Pro-Am as far as their builds, the badge loadouts, all types of stuff like that, and just how they plan to play the game as well. Now, as far as non-meta, if you guys really want to see what I'm up to, this is not exactly my build. I make it at a point guard, not a small forward, so that's why the two-way point forward title right here, it's actually really cool if you make it a small forward for that reason. But this build is pretty much to a T the ratings that I have on my new Ben Simmons-esque build. So this is a 6'9", 206 weight, 7'7" wingspan with a built body shape. Like I said, not a lot of people are going to play this playstyle by any means. This is me playing as a point forward on offense, a screen setter on offense, while still being a versatile lockdown on defense. So as you can see, we have the 90 steel for the gold interceptor, the 88 prim D for the silver clamps, and as you can see, like for instance, the gold challenger as well, and just in general, a pretty good level of prim D for a 6'9". The interior D and the block are also really good with the gold anchor and the 84 for the badge point right here. Then we have 94 offense rebound because we're going to be crashing the offensive boards a whole lot more with this build. Like I said, it's more of a offensive pick and roller, yet still only playing like on-ball defense or power forward defense too. The way that we run Pro-Am, it's very versatile between our 3 and our 4 on defense. We can switch everything. It's a really cool thing. I'm a big fan of the 6'9" defensive builds. If you guys really want though, I will be showing in the power forward video what build IQ runs, and it's a shooter that pretty much plays as the 4 essentially, right? But if you wanted 2 of those and you didn't want any of the playmaking and extra finishing that you can see on this build right here, stay tuned for that power forward build, because low-key you could just run 2 of them and play sides the exact same way that me and IQ do, just minus the whole extra playmaking and finishing that this build gets. But nonetheless, for me, I know a lot of people are a little bit skeptical of this stuff. I'm not even gonna talk to you guys about like, oh, this is why I have this is why I have that, because I've already done that a lot on this channel. But I do want to tell you how they all function. So a lot of people do get really skeptical with the 65 close shot and the 75 standing dunk. They don't think it's good enough to be a pick and roller in this game. I will tell you though, driving dunks are a huge factor in pick and roll. I know a lot of people only go for the 80. They get the quick drops. It's really efficient. It's still efficient for me. Mind you, with 80 dunk, you have to worry about a lot of anchors dropping off the corners and stuff like that, or backside defenders maybe going for chase downs and stuff. And albeit, I know it's quick drops. They don't really get chased down like that, but Hall of Fame anchor, when it's stacked all across the floor, it's really nice to have a little bit more driving dunk, if you ask me. The standing is plenty fine. The only thing it really hurts you on is maybe standing alley-oops where you're just sitting below the block. Not to mention this build in general is a little bit unconventional when it comes to that, because it's not really capable of doing something like that just because of the lack of height and the rebound and stuff like that. But nonetheless, this is what the build is up to. It's really good vertical. It gets the silver brick wall as well. Really good acceleration. Contributes as a secondary ball handler with that gold clamp breaker. I even function as our press break guy to an extent as well. And I shoot 82% from free throw with 50 free throws, so do not be too skeptical of that either. The reason it's that low in the first place, though, is unfortunately if you go way too high on the free throw, like I'm talking in the 53, 54 range, it starts upgrading mid-range, which is what we don't really want. We could go up on the close shot too as well to get an extra finishing badge point, but like I said, don't really want those extra mid-range upgrades because they're literally useless to this build. It's about as simple as that. Same with the fact that our defensive rebound is not great. It was definitely something I was thinking about doing. If you guys really want, and like you really wanted to make a build like this, I would in retrospect maybe make a build with 75 pass accuracy, in which case then you could just get like 89 D-board for instance, or maybe even up the block for the anchor, or maybe you want the 99 dunk. Whatever you want to do between that though, that's up to you. I just wanted to showcase to you guys this build. Now, I'm also running easy blow-bys. I could debatably run a lock take, but honestly, the way I see it, with me being a pick and roller, speed helps me anyway on defense. Speed and vertical. That's definitely something that's really nice, and that's what I still get with the slash take anyway. Not to mention the perk of easy blow-bys is really nice for me because then I can contribute to our offense as well. All right, so now's where I can actually talk to you guys about these badge loadouts. I understand it's maybe not the target audience in some of this video, where a lot of you guys looking at this, you're thinking, why would I ever make a build like this? But for a lot of my own viewers, it is really convenient to make a video where I can actually talk to you guys about my badge loadout a little bit and explain maybe my reasons behind it without having to make some stupid video that's going to be like the worst out of my last like 20 videos for performance, where I just be like, these are the badges I run, I hope you guys enjoy the video, because now I can actually showcase this to you in this video as well. It just mentions my build as a lockdown at the 3. But anyway, what I can debatably do between these finishing badges is the only thing I even ever change is really between these, whether I want to run Acrobat or Aerial Wizard, or maybe was thinking about if I know for a fact I'm playing against a 7-3 in the corner that likes to drop a lot, I could run Hall of Fame Giant Slayer as well. That's the only thing this really would affect though, and I don't really prefer to run like 5 badge points into Rise Up or 5 badge points into Fast Twitch. I honestly feel like the level of pick and rolling on this build is plenty fine anyway. So whether you like to go for the corny putback dunks that yes actually work pretty good when you have glass take on too with See the Future, you can actually set yourself up with the putbacks pretty well, but whether you like to catch alley-oops as well, whether you think that's actually a viable thing in Pro-Am or not, I think it is. I just don't really see it quite as often from our teammates. Or if you just want to run maybe, for instance, Acrobat, Giant Slayer, stuff like that, you can definitely do so. Whatever you want between these 3 badges right here, however it fits. Besides that though, I do recommend the Fearless Finisher, Limitless Takeoff, Poster, and Slithery. About as simple as that for the finishing. For the shooting, it's pretty obvious. We have nothing there. And then I'm looking forward to the double core badge as well, because what's so convenient, there's 3 loadouts. If you ever were interested in a build like this is the one thing that I think is really cool for that, and I will have it really soon. I apologize, I haven't really been playing as much Park this season. It just is what it is. A lot of holiday stuff, you know, busy with family and whatnot. But what I'm really looking forward to is the fact that I will get a double finishing or double playmaking or double defense core badge at the expense of shooting. All 3 of those loadouts are in this game. So what I plan to do in Pro-Am is do that for defense. We'll come back to that in a second though. I just want to talk about the playmaking first and foremost. I would advise that if you guys really want to run the gold bailout, to maybe put 2 extra playmaking badges into this. Now that maybe you could run the extra defensive core, but we'll talk about that again, like I said, in a second. This right here is pretty much the loadout that I run at all times. I am thinking about taking Needle Threader off though, to be completely honest with you though, and maybe just running Hall of Fame Dimer and Silver Bailout, and we could just rock out with that, for instance. It would be kind of usable, kind of comp to an extent if you ask me, but the gold Needle Threader is pretty nice sometimes. It can get people on stuns, rewards me for bad passes that I probably should just be turnover sometimes as well, makes it harder for people to lane. But the playmaking badge that I don't run Handles for Days. I think my style of dribbling is pretty efficient and doesn't really need to be used. I have Clamp Breaker, Unpluckable, Quick First Step, Needle Threader, and Hyperdrive with a Bronze Bailout active as well. So that is our playmaking right there. So then for the defense, let me just tell you guys, I would advise to put the 4 extra into defense unless you really do care about the extra playmaking for the bailout or something like that. But the extra defense goes a long way because the whole perk of this build is the versatility and how much you do things that relate to defensive badges. So for instance, like I'm trying to think of a defensive badge in here that I don't even need, because honestly when it comes to like tracking down loose balls, Workhorse would be a little bit nice to have. On ball defense, I need Glove. It's exactly where at least the 2 badge points would go right here, is to get that Silver Glove. I just have this right here because it looks the cleanest and most understandable. But other than that, I mean, Pick Dodger I probably don't need, Post Lockdown I probably don't need, and then Ankle Braces actually is nice to have when you play against the people that run killer combos and stuff like that. Nonetheless, my whole point here, every defensive badge in the game is important to me to an extent. So to be able to get that double defense core or to put extra defensive badges on is really convenient, because what that extra defensive core gives me is to be able to core Rebound Chaser, and that gets me 7 badge points back in. So we'll just take this off and act like it's just on for imagination purposes, and then boom, that gives me Silver Brick Wall for free, straight like that. So then I have 6 extra badge points put into the defense as well. Could give me like bronze workhorse. We would have the silver glove as well. So that's pretty much the 2 extra right there. And then 4 extra from there would allow me to run, like, say for instance, Hall of Fame Menace, or maybe even up the workhorse a little bit as well. So it's really convenient to have the extra defensive badges, to have just in general the double defense core when it comes to comp gameplay. If it's non-comp gameplay though, I would probably say I'm running something like between any of the 3, between finishing, playmaking, or defense for the extra core. But again, there's a lot of badges utilized here. Chase down, challenger, clamps, interceptor is really big, by the way. Brick wall for the screen setting is really important. Gold anchor as well. Gold rebound chaser, because the whole point of this build is to be versatile with it. Like, we're a screener, a rebounder, an on-ball defender, and a backside defender. So there's 4 different roles I'm playing that all deal with defensive badges. So to have as many as possible goes a super long way. So that's at least what I advise for all this stuff. But anyway, that's all video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all the good stuff. And like always, try to win 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put defense or lock in the comments so I support some way through. But like I said earlier, I understand that maybe this is either A, with this build right here, very obvious information, or B, useless information for you, potentially, if you're looking at a build like this. I just wanted to show you all of the defensive loadouts that we run as far as the badges go, the meta build for those who don't know, because honestly, like, this video also will do good just off search for people looking for a meta build when it comes to the Pro-Am, or just in general for playing Park. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the best lock build in the game, or at least the safest one. I am of the belief that 6'6" are better. I also am of the belief that 6'8" and 6'9" can contribute in a much more versatile way that involves, like, obviously gold anchor or maybe better rebounding, for instance, as well. But 6'7" is the safest thing when it comes to the on-ball defense, fight through locks that just have really good speed, really good prim D, really good steal, all types of stuff like that. And then you just need someone on the backside that's gonna just hedge for you. Simple as that. No switching, no nothing like that. But anyway, like I said, that's all for the vid. I hope you all enjoyed. If you do like this type of style, we're gonna have also the shooting guard, power forward, and center videos coming soon. We already have the point guard up as well. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this. Like I said, some of this is a little bit obvious information to some people, but for the new players or those who are a little bit less informed, this may be some really good stuff for them to see and get them in the loop of what the Pro-Am meta is and stuff like that. So anyway, that's all for the video. Hope you all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.